Okay, so I've just connected myself back to source control, so now I'm just going to save this. So that's fine. Right, next, so let's just keep going through. The next one is the character AI master, so we're just going to go check out him. He is in my mods inside, I believe, blueprints. No, let's have a look. Where is he going to be? Let's just open AI character. This one. Okay, so we've got an unnamed ragdoll soldier, so this is checked out on my home PC. I'm just going to make it writable. Okay, so what this means is that ragdoll soldier has changed from the ragdoll component. So server set ragdoll state is replicated or get up, and if I just type in ragdoll, yeah, see, it doesn't seem to. So we're going to test if this now does all of that, and I'll test that in a minute. That's everything for this class. So go hit play again. Game mode Troopers Master. So I have a game mode Troopers Master here. So this doesn't like this timer handle. Yeah, okay, so it's the vehicle spawner has changed in the most recent version. It's now been moved to C++. So what we're doing here is we're destroying any attached vehicles that are part of a spawn point that wasn't selected for the randomization. So what we do is we parent those vehicle spawners. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually how am I going to do this? This is on the server because it's the game mode, so I'm just actually going to destroy the vehicles.
Yeah, there's no parking.
In fact, it's going to try and destroy them anyway, so let's just do this. In fact, is there anything I can do with this? Set class, set vehicle. Usually if you type set, you can check out all of the variables of it. But anyway, doesn't seem to work, so I'm just going to... I actually know that that didn't really work very well originally anyway, so I'm just going to get rid of that. Check that out. Okay, next, Troopers player controller. Let's open that file. Okay, so there's a load of stuff in here. These have already come up. So default value for quantity on ream has changed, and this asset is from a version that may have had an incorrect default value information. Verify and resave. So force type allowed was removed. So I'm just going to check if there's any other signatures in here that I can use for ream. So this is actually inserting an item into the player inventory. So before it was force type allowed for rearming this item, but we can just spawn it with max ammo instead. So we shouldn't need this part. Yeah, because we don't need to rearm it because we can just spawn it with max ammo. Client notification. Okay, the signature for this has changed, so you can see that there's no longer an icon or a duration, which is a shame. That means we can't control that. Server request spawn vehicle. Oh right, yeah. So this is the vehicle spawner. So what we're going to do is consume ammo from. Where are we trying to consume this from? The nearest fob. Okay, so consume fob ammo. So the name of that one has just changed. So let's just plug them out in here and plug this in. And the interesting thing, actually, that I quite like about this is I can now branch and see if this actually worked. Because if it didn't, then I shouldn't be spawning a vehicle. So we can put both of these branches in. There we go. Okay. So that's those two things. Let's just compile this. We've got some more stuff here, client notification again, so let's get rid of those. Now, it seems to have this new type. So we're adding a mission notification. We're just going to pick a type here. We are going to pick, should be game mode. Right. We'll change this to negative. Okay, so in ream again, we've got force type allowed. We don't need that because we can ream by spawning max ammo here. Okay, so that's done. Okay, next. BP HUD troopers. Okay, so this has show scoreboard event, right? So parent end match, right? So what we're doing here is when the match ends, we actually find the cinematic manager and we play a cinematic based on the win conditions. So the actual implementation of the scoreboard has probably changed here. So you'll see now you have the event for match ended here, which we do once, and then we end the round, we close all the menus, and we do all these things. And we actually show an end round widget, which eventually calls, it creates this end round widget class, which you can change. But basically, if we go and check this out, what it does is it has a callback to the HUD when, where is that? Here, right, so we play the animation, and when the animation is finished, we call, after the on-screen time for this widget, we call HUD scoreboard. And HUD scoreboard down here tells the HUD to we fade out this scoreboard, and we show the we fade out the end round screen, which is this flag thing, and then we show the end round scoreboard back here. So we show you the end round scoreboard here, and then we get rid of the mouse and all this sort of stuff. So because of that, what we actually need to do is when the match ends, we're gonna check all this stuff. We're gonna play cinematic. And we're looking for this right now. Parent match end. So that's here, which is if there was none of those. Okay, so we're just going to look at play outro on here. Right, so we've got parent match end there. Okay, so what happens is basically we override this function. We do our own function, then we recall the actual match ended, which is going to show this. So it's going to run its regular logic. Parent close menu, event close menu, right? Okay, so this is when, so we want to override, okay, we can get rid of that. That was just a signature change. So event close menu, do the original close menu, but also do some music changes. So get rid of the music, because we play music in the menu in this game. So let's get rid of this. Okay, so we've got another one here. Again, signature has changed, so we can just remove that and save. Check that out. Okay, next. BP plug player master. Okay, right. Yeah. So this is when you can play a bug. So we've got Ragdoll Soldier again. So that's going to be down here. Like I said, we're going to just test this without doing that. Yeah, so that one's fine now. Oh, so one thing I've noticed I'm doing is clicking compile and then save. So what I usually do is go on the drop down on compile and click on success only. Then when I do this, it's going to automatically save it as well. It takes a little bit longer, but it means that when you hit play and editor, you don't lose everything. Okay, so BP invisible resource. Invisible resource. Okay, so we've got get nearby detect player sphere for which assumedly was something that was inside this base fob creator. And it also had an incorrect name, which is quite funny. Nierb. So I'm going to check out construction radius and see if that actually overlaps with pawns, which it does. The problem is that actually, I think the point of this is that we tell it to ignore or accept pawns. So we're just going to use construction simple and detect construction simple and capture zone. And then you've got deployment radius, which I'm also going to... What is deployment radius? Right, I guess that's the radius at which deployables can be placed. So we're also going to get rid of that. Yeah, and then compile that. So I think the setup of this asset had changed. So if we hit play again, BPT our vehicle B. Yeah, okay. So this is going to be about consuming ammo. Oh no, it's one of these again. So vehicle construction in progress can be positive. Add notification. Spawn actor. Right. Yeah, you can't change the team on an SQ vehicle anymore. But you can call set team. So we're going to set team here instead, after the fact that we've spawned it, because that was removed as a exposed on spawn variable. So that's now done. So hit play again. Radar. Where's your radar? Okay. So this is my not Halo radar. So we can't see the compile results at the bottom here, so if you just hit compile, it'll bring it up. Relative canvas panel. Object 0. Add child to canvas. There is a relative canvas panel right here. So what's happened here? We had a relative canvas panel and we were adding radar dots to it. But what seems to have happened is that's gone now. So now I need to figure out where that might have been, which is a problem. I'm going to assume that the relative canvas panel was on this rotating overlay. Just add one in. It's possible that this file got moved, so we're going to make this full size. If I come back in here, I need to make this variable, and then that's fixed that. Now, it might be in the wrong place, to be honest, but we'll be able to fix that after. Unfortunately, there's zero documentation. There we go. Right, next. Deployment troopers. So this means that... Oh, don't want to do that. Deployment troopers. So a lot of these widgets have changed, like the makeup of this panel will have changed. So let's have a look at this. So these two things have been removed. Now, what I've done here is actually removed a lot of the default functionality for confirmations. So I believe all of this will be gone. And there's one way to check this, which is to open up the actual deployment. Deployment menu. And what we'll do is we'll go check that same function, which is next screen. And we'll copy this for now. Let's just put it here and check out what we were originally doing, which is if you select a team, which you never do because you're forced onto the same team, so we can get rid of that. We set the deployment screen, which we don't do in Troopers because we don't have multiple screens. We select role, which changes our screen and for some reason requests deploy, which we don't want to do. And then if you are selecting a spawn, over here we auto select a spawn point. If you press enter, this is when you press enter. So this is like the next button. So we auto select a spawn point, but over here what we do instead is, we still auto select a spawn point, but then we go to the squad screen, but we don't have a squad screen, so we can get rid of that as well. And this should all be good now actually. So save that, cancel respawn timer, we don't need that. Close deployment from HUD. Alright, I'm just going to check this out. Next action. So what was next action doing? Next action. Is that a custom thing that I've written? So I'm just going to Control F next action, which I am calling from the deploy button. Next action. Right, so over here we probably have event key action, which calls next screen. Alright, I just called it differently. So in the deployment, what we're going to do is copy all of this, because we want it to behave in the same way. Except our false is going to go to this. Okay. And also, you can't leave the team, so that doesn't matter. And we don't have a deployment tutorial, so that actually doesn't matter. Okay. So that should fix that. And then we've got cancel respawn timer again. Don't want that. I'm just going to check update bottom bar on here. Timer menu update, right. Let's go find that timer menu update. Let's just copy this, paste it here, and check out what we're doing differently. So this changes the nav team select, which we don't have anyway. So we can probably get rid of all that. What we're saying here as well is that we're always going to update the next button. And we're going to check overrun. But we weren't checking overrun in here anymore. Overrun. Yeah, we don't check for overrun anymore. What does that do? Cancels the respawn timer. I think that is actually managed in code now, so we shouldn't need to do this. And then we update the deploy state, which we do always want to do. So we should be able to save that. And we've got a selector here, which has two enumerators that don't exist anymore. So respawn timer isn't going to exist anyway. This is the progression state. So I'm just going to check the progression state in this class, which is the default. Okay, progression state. I'm just going to copy this and slot that in here.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. That was like 4.
Okay, so
So reduce those.
I think. Yeah, so I skipped a bunch of stuff like I don't need team screen, for example, and I don't need select role. Though we could. select role.
Would you think it would be
I'm going to plug this in, and hopefully that works. It's just that we're skipping a few parts.
the one to make like
Although what we've also done is we've said we're only ever going to be in select spawn. I'll have to check this in a second and maybe debug it.
I'll say it's priority, but it just like
So I think what these originally were, because they were non-enumerated, would have been
yeah.
the other spawning and confirmation steps. But they're gone now. So if your role, which I don't care about that. I'm just going to be like select spawn or you're spawning. We don't care about the role part. Oh, that's saved now. Okay, so we can get rid of these. Okay, I hit play again. Now we've got base HUD. I forgot how cool this was. Okay. So it wants a vehicle health bar.
Yeah. I was thinking like
And state indicators that no longer exist on here.
yeah.
Um,
Something like that.
well, let's just get rid of these. And the vehicle health widget I'll come back to after I get into a vehicle for testing. I'm just going to leave this one open because I'm a little bit concerned about that one. Oh, what am I doing? Hit play. Right, so yeah, quick item selection has changed. So TR roll quick item. Roll quick. TR.
If it was optimized, then yes.
Okay, so it doesn't know what it's looking for.
At least it's not interesting. I'm getting like where.
So what I'm going to do is find this default one and go to quick select and open up roll quick item. So this is doing a lot less stuff now. So let's just move this over here. We've got init sub roles, we've got refresh data and get locked by squad type. Oh right, yeah, so that's new. That's locked by the squad type from troopers. So we can delete that. And the next one is when you click on the roll button. Yep, so that's the same. And then the next one is
That is also, yeah, sorry.
hovered and unhovered, which is the same. And then you've got refresh quick visuals, which I'm going to assume is refresh quick visuals, yeah, that's the same. And then I've got event init sub roles. So we assumedly overwrite this.
New versions.
So it's going to try and spawn main weapon. We don't do that in here now, and I'm assuming that's because it's in. It's done in the parent class now.
But yeah, just color matching.
I'm just going to delete those. And in refresh data, we actually override it so that we can change some information. So if I actually go to role item here, I am trying to. It's not that one. It's this one. Refresh data. So if we find refresh data, get all these lock types. Get is locked. So this we might actually want to override instead. See how we're.
Oh
yeah. We might not need to actually override this anymore because all we're trying to do is set whether it's locked. It's always locked. It never gets unlocked. It's pretty dumb. Okay. So what we want to do is copy some of this here and this. Cut that. I believe, and then we're going to want to override get is locked. So we're going to use this if it's locked by default, and also
He was like,
Timmy.
I'm going to run this new
Maximus.
code.
share
Oh,
your
cool. Yeah, yeah. Cool. Maximus.
Right, if what I'm going to do is going to put a sequence back here, and if any of this stuff fails, we're always going to return the parent lock state. Otherwise, we're going to return some other stuff. So what this says is, if my PC is valid and we actually have some locked squad types, then check the trooper's state and ask what the squad type is, and if locked squad types do not contain the player state's squad type, and the squad is currently not locked, which would actually be this,
Yeah.
and if we're not, oh, it's just binary. It's just saying like only.
It's the exact same.
Okay, right. So actually,
Not even that. I think it's just like almost
if locked squad types contains squad type
It's like
of the current player, if it doesn't
we shouldn't just add
contain it.
Yeah.
I'm just going to put this here because basically, if the player state isn't valid and the locked squad types has an index,
Yeah.
and it's not locked, set it to locked. Alright, so we're going to lock them by default basically.
Swapping those rows.
And over here we're going to lock them if
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Something like that.
I believe that's correct.
The site
Locked squad types contains the squad type that I am.
very so
If it doesn't contain. I'm going to do quickly is just diff the depot, then graph. So it's setting it to locked there. If it's currently not locked, and assumedly this is the condition for should be locked, and I can't remember what the logic actually is, so I'm just going to say it's going to be like that. Actually, it also needs an and, because we want to still use the original limits. Okay, so then we've got a for each loop up here, which is going to remove all. See subrole selected, that isn't needed anymore. Okay. And then you've got open subroles. And then in class defaults we might actually have a subrole class now. Let's just go and check out role item, because this will have the implementation for open subroles, and then it's going to create role sub options, and I think inside Troopers UI, yeah, we have our own sub options. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this. I'm going to go into here. Okay, and then I'm going to override this So this is role sub options, yeah.
Yes. So basically, you can take
Quick role sub options.
so I'm gonna drop.
Ah,
Basically,
come on.
take each log bounds, which is like the thing that your each log clusters. You manually set those up.
See how it doesn't extend from anything. So I think it needs to extend from this class.
And say you have sets of walls here.
Okay, so this is the default sub options. Appears to do the same thing.
It's okay. It's like, okay, so you have two different types of options. So
For each quick roll option,
you would select
which
every single option.
it gets told here.
And
See how these are weapons? We don't
select
want that.
but instance them with the and select instance.
I guess maybe we do.
And that would
Okay.
like make this nice. The size would be different, like, and it would like this make these clusters of. So yeah, and then so if you're in, say you're in.
Was that actually doing anything different?
In this zone,
Or is it just a
layer,
complete copy?
everything inside this close by would be instance, but all of these ones would be HLOC.
I think it was just a copy.
They would be
I'm going to actually
HLOC.
get rid of that.
Yeah, exactly. You would just basically select every single map, every single. You would set up the sizing by using the.
Okay, so that's fixed. And then notification panel here.
What is
New notification. They
Well,
can't have
that
textures and
is-
stuff anymore,
Those are accepted by default.
but they can have custom icon.
Accept stuff, but by default.
So we're going to put that in.
Or you just select an object and make sure that you
And
But what you could do, you don't even need to HLOC.
I think I've got a function library for troopers.
The volumes to define your instance. So it'd be a nice way to make
Which is
sure
going to have
that
its kill notifications.
yes, you would.
I'm just going to find
Yes, you would.
old references to this.
Because right now
reference
it's like,
viewer.
look over the map, like,
Base HUD.
do all this stuff. But if you could just like literally just draw volumes and select everything.
Create notifications. It's going to create a TR panel.
And then we can sort out.
It's
HLOC.
event new notification. Okay, let's find references to that.
That was just something that came to mind. Yeah, it's not for now, but it's just very interesting.
It doesn't even take a custom icon in here.
Yeah.
It it has a custom icon, but it doesn't.
Excluding.
Okay, I'm gonna write that down.
Blueprints, which is we have 30,000 factors in there. 30,000 going over and finding and even clicking 30,000 times. Maybe that's it. So like doing something like this would basically take less than an hour to set up.
Okay,
speaking from,
so
like,
what I'm actually going to do is change all of this. It was relying originally on the squad one, but we're going to implement this in our own class. Troopers notification.
I mean, like, one of the biggest points of reference I have.
Do the same thing, except we're going to take this, this, and this.
And like the way that they interpret it.
And then what that does is it finds all classes of a notification panel, which this is one of, and it calls event new notification on it.
approach.
and then we create a new notification
like killing bugs and,
with the text and the texture, and the duration is going to be. Oh, we put the duration back in actually. Oh, no, I can't. I need to.
It's a very unique text, very different to what the original movie was.
I guess duration wasn't on the original, so we're just going to have to put something default in here, like 15 seconds. Okay. And now it should run. And then we'll see errors as we're playing, I assume.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're playing in local right now. Whoa. The US utils. It's got all these missing seat states. So that's got to be to do with the truck. So we're just going to go look at this.
I mean, you can make it out of everything. You can make imposters.
So we should have seat states here. Oh, would you look at that? Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to keep this for a second. I'm going to go to vehicles, extract it.
So you would actually draw the entire city.
It used to have a gun on the back. I'm sure it used to have a gun.
And it was that way you could technically have a gun. Fly up and actually see the entire city. And
What? I mean, like, I talking from like a tech point of view, or
Yeah, see, there's the extractor turret there. So we need this.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
what I'm going to do is going to find this.
I would say we are in a sort of accelerated
Make a new
position,
copy.
In that like we are going to be basically auditing what was done
Put that on that.
in the mod and see what is what worked well, and also what didn't work well, and what
yeah,
could
but this
actually
would be
This
like
BP extractor V2.
Support from the engineering team. Like an example would be the way that you know the
Now this should have all of its seat states.
So that is a fairly critical task. That is the core of the game that we feel that
In fact,
a simple configuration
maybe I don't even need to do that.
doesn't really cut it, and it's an area that will probably have a lot of like
Got seat states there.
make sure it runs well, and also that we can get lots of bugs on the screen.
Still no news on the visa button? Yes, you have to wait.
I think that this is a new
Yeah.
configuration thing. So what I'm going to do is copy this. Hello.
Sorry, are you on a call?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll come back.
Okay. So we do want to keep
Yeah.
the additional seat config 0.
Hard to tell if this I didn't get any hard stats.
In fact, the seat state's the same on everybody.
Uh,
Idle rifle,
yeah, so I didn't get any.
idle no they're not. Okay.
But I definitely feel like it's.
How many seats do I have on this vehicle?
Yeah.
12, 13, 14, 15,
I'm not sure.
16, 17. I have 17.
Well, actually, I
How many
think it's
does
more
this
like
have?
3 because we are going to be doing the
I
concept
17.
art,
Okay,
like,
cool. So we can copy most of it. I just don't want to lose.
I guess that's another thing that
the
that
setup of
you
seat
between
0.
us, as a company, that we need to establish like a concept art.
So the way to do this
like,
is to
production
copy.
period before we even get like 3D artists.
Just to copy this
creating these,
into
these,
seat
like,
0.
models.
So then now we have that, and then copy all the additional seat configs into here, so that we keep this stuff. Now, interestingly, for some reason.
I just liked the first.
Oh right, yeah. So I didn't have a seat state. So I added one. Oh, it gets automatically created with this.
That's very good. It's very artistic.
I think I have some animations. So that's an aim offset. So I'm just going to put that in there. And I've got an in place standing. So I'm just going to put that there. Okay. So maybe now that will work. I've got 2 notifications. Okay. And I can't close my menu. Okay.
Oh, really?
Socket turret in state 0 is missing base animation. That's not true. Vehicle seat socket turret in state 0 is missing. I did. Copy that. Paste. Paste. Right, so that goes in there, and then I do need the extractor. V2, because I need the driver configs.
But yeah, so.
Paste. It's going to be a heavy vehicle. Okay. I did get 2 notifications, which was odd. I only created 1 notification panel. So I'm just going to have a look at this notification panel, and what you can do is you can stack trace here. So we can find out where those 2 introduction things are coming from. Might actually be the case because I'm playing it in. We'll fix that after. It might be the case I'm playing it in local, so probably it's doing stuff twice. Window, tools, output. So here we'll get, before all of this, error log. We should have 2 stack traces somewhere.
Rushing back and forth, just trying to hold up. And this guy, the guys must be like, what the hell was that sound? Screaming at them. It's like, we lost the font, like,
Here.
1 minute left.
Script call stack. On team state changed. New notification. On team state changed. Mission notification. Okay, so we're just doing 2 mission notifications where we can see where from as well. It's coming from.
Oh, it's so different.
It's coming from the player controller.
Yeah.
And the squad UI add notification. Okay.
Yeah, just like gets
Okay. So when I spawn, add a mission notification.
Yeah, I know, I know.
Okay. And if I change team, add a new mission notification.
Yeah.
So I think it's because I'm not running it in dedicated.
Sorry. Yeah.
Okay. So the radar is turning, but I want to know if bugs are actually going to appear. So we need to go find some. Bugs will spawn from here. Well, the radar worked, at least. I need this notification to go away. Okay. So some of the stuff with aiming is broken. Oh. Oh yeah, so let's check ragdolling. Well, he's not going to ragdoll me. It's too soon. Also, yeah, their ragdoll isn't working. Oh, his ragdoll worked, but their ragdolls didn't work. Okay, so this guy should be able to ragdoll me. There we go. And I should get up afterwards as well. Okay. The menu didn't open, but that's not a big issue. Okay. Well, the ragdoll's working. Their ragdolls aren't working very well, but I'm not too worried about that. The counters at the top are working. The troop count isn't going down though. When I die, and that would significantly break the game. So if I die and give up, yeah, the troopers counter isn't going down. Let's just check this as well. Troopers ammo counter. Whoa. Okay. So it says here in the message log, access none trying to read L roll. In roll item. L roll. If the current roll is valid, save L roll. If the current roll is not valid, use the deploy roll. Okay. And then L roll still isn't valid. So that needs to be validated. Okay, so why is that? Troopers rifleman. Got some stuff in here. Infantry rifleman. Window. Old settings. Okay. That message is try check selected. It had no role item from the player. So what I'm going to do is override check selected. That's a function check selected override. And I am going to create a local variable here. And validate it. Otherwise selected as false. Oh. Initial role. Yeah. Okay, so I can still change role and we can create a squad. Have to create a hunter. Okay. There we go. So I'm a medic. Screen still moves when you turn and stuff. So I'm going to check out the base game mode. Troopers Master, that's the one. Event graph. So this is how I was originally doing team changing. Let's go to the wave manager. Add team kill. Oh yeah, that's for kicking people. Check soldier loss. Oh, so this is like if all soldiers are dead. So there should be a thing called a score counter. Soldier died. Find references. So this gets called when a soldier dies. And the point is to tally it up. Server death. Player died. Server death. If you're not an admin. Alright, well let's assume that that's false and see what happens. And the point of that is to stop it so that when you go into admin cam, usually it would fire the player died event. Almost. There you go, look. See how every time I do this, the troops are going down because I'm technically dying. So these work as intended. Oh, I needed that. Yeah, so that's just a bug fix for the actual loss of points. And then I'm just going to fix this so troopers ammo counter. Oh, interesting. Okay. Must be the thing that goes on the gun. Ammo counter. Troopers ammo counter. There. Find references. It comes from the pulse rifle. Move parent. Count. Remove from parent called. Okay, so maybe it's in here. Well, you can't remove this from a parent because it's right. Yeah, you can't remove it from the parent because it's like it's a 3D widget. You have to do this to clear it.
Who's our IT guy?
That's how you clear it.
Yep. Who's our IT guy?
Okay, user
Sorry?
is valid.
No, I guess he's away.
So if it hasn't been cleared, clear it. And only on the condition of whatever that condition was in here. So
Like it just stalls.
get the owning weapons owner, and if that's valid as a pawn and locally controlled.
But like I think this is and then it just stalls. And then like I can't move windows around. Nothing.
Okay.
And now I have no cursor. Yeah, then it freezes. Yeah,
If it is not locally controlled.
I'm not sure.
I thought so.
It's like corrupted temporarily.
Right, so if it's not locally controlled, we're just going to remove it from the game.
I know there was some sort of Windows update.
And we probably want to keep this actually in here.
It wanted to update yesterday, and I just scheduled it for like.
I'm just going to go owning weapon, and then we're going to validate this. So we don't want to access that before it's actually valid.
Did you?
Okay,
Yes.
and as long as that's true, we'll get the owning weapon.
So you had Visual Studio and everything installed yesterday?
Convert that to pure, put that in there, right, and then let it do its normal code. So now, when I hit play, I shouldn't get all those errors.
Usually updates mess the computer up this bad, but yeah, I guess. I can. You know what, I'm gonna shut down the computer. I'll give it a cold boot.
I completely missed. Should be getting up. She should check that I'm actually going to get up if they're not there. I think it might have been because they were still on top of me. Oops. Yeah. So this is the ragdoll trying to fix itself. I should be dead at this point. Respawn. Oop. So there's one more thing I wanted to check, which is the vehicle. It's this one. Okay, so we can't enter them. So that basically means this has some bad configs. Vehicles extractor V2.
He's doing it right now, like behind me.
Yeah, so that's fine. And then you've got usable data here, which is also fine. Team. Oh. Yeah, so because team got removed on vehicles, if you place them defaultly in the map now, it's not going to work. So we actually need to have a split. Spawn the extractor from it. set its team to team 1, and its respawn time is 0. It never respawns.
Yeah,
Just
it
do that.
Oh, they like that.
Yeah, just this by itself. Oh, it's just.
I'm just going to lift it up a bit because sometimes it bounces through the floor.
I'm not sure what to do.
I think there's only no, there's 3. Okay. I was going to say I think there's only 2.
I can't even
There's
get
3.
to that.
Oh, look, okay, actually.
Like I tried to get to the update page.
Okay, so now I should be able to enter it. Sorry if that's really loud, by the way.
Like it's crashed like 3 times so far on its own. Like right goodbye.
It's okay. Are you kidding me? Getting in the vehicle. Okay, so what happens if I spawn the other vehicle? If I spawn sorry, 2, team 1,
Like the past 2 days,
yep.
so far, really
We're
good.
just gonna try this. It should let me in.
We're noticing that there was like a Windows update.
No, that's not letting me in either.
yesterday.
Okay, so
I'm gonna try to not
pause
update
this.
my Windows.
Basically, be
Are you-
prepared.
But yeah, there can be defective
Troopers.
stuff. Like that's right here, you have to return it because that's a new
if I go to
system
this
or the
class,
board is defective. And I ran through all the checks and
there is a function
Oh.
here
Just,
on usable
restart.
visible draw interact widget. Yeah,
Sorry?
that's fine actually.
Yeah,
It's,
like the PC is like stuck on it.
Oh dear.
uh,
Oh dear.
since an update yesterday, so
Ah.
could be either Windows
Microsoft!
or
So I'm the only one in the office still using Windows 7.
Oh really?
You're still using Windows 7.
Yeah.
God bless you.
Yeah.
scoreboard.
You're going to get your last update, I think, in January 2020, and then it's Wild West at that point. Well, then you don't get security updates anymore, so your computer will immediately get hacked.
Create radio menu.
You're passive on.
Yeah. Yay.
So I think create radio menu.
yeah.
is
Let's just see what happens to
the
the
ammo
update today,
bag.
and if it's still causing
Smart
issues.
coil.
Let's go to.
Some
Progress
options
bar.
are recovery, which
Okay, it's doing it again. Now the cursor's frozen right now. Let's just try to go to settings.
Hmm.
Yeah, oh, now it's stuck again.
Yeah. This is Phil.
Yeah. Then it does this.
He's the producer guy.
Sometimes it just
He's
goes
a
back,
drone.
And to me, that says
Sup?
video card like problem.
Break.
Or something to do with the
Grab back.